very scientific person. I don't know that really was probably not a shock to most of you guys. I don't really delve into the world of science and how this works and all these kind of things. And you know what I mean? I'm more on the esoteric, spiritual side than I am the science side. Not that I have a problem with science. It just doesn't really interest me to know about science-y type stuff. You know, it's just not my interest. I was reading this article, and it was how this one person was saying that how people should be getting updates of like, you know, they get the shot, the flu shot. I forget what they call that. But anyway, you just basically get a flu shot
immunization.
Yeah, immunizations, right? Yeah, and then they were talking about how that would inoculate or something. Basically, it's putting the actual germ or the bacteria or the infection or the virus just at a little bit. And if you give it a little bit, then your body actually gets used to it. So if you actually do get the virus or the bacteria or whatever it is, the antibiotic or this immunization shot, and again, forgive me for not knowing the exact words here, but I'm sure you guys catch what I'm going with. Your body actually builds the antibodies or whatnot. The immune system gets strong enough to handle the stress of the full force. But to be able to handle the stress of the full force, you have to give yourself a little bit to start with. And if you just do that a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit, your body gets strong enough to handle the full force. Because that's how that works. And I was like, well, that's really interesting, because in the martial arts we do the same damn thing. You guys come in level 1, we just want you to do this much. And level 2, we want you to do this much. Right? And then you start doing certain type of randori drills. And then level 3, we ask you this much. And then we start doing throws and locks and, you know, grappling. And then level 4, we have this. And then we have more physical requirements and want you to do this. And then you're punching and kicking and kickboxing drills and kempo drills and grappling and throwing. And then the physical goes up and you have to do, right? And as you go up, each level just it introduces a little bit more so that your body can be strong enough so when the situation comes, you can handle the stress. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really interesting because we're talking about when people think of medicine like immunizations and shots and flu shots, we think that's a pretty modern principle. But the way people have been studying martial arts for centuries is old as shit. And that's the way they've always done it. If we do this, it'll help you get to here. If you do this, it'll help you get to here. Same thing with education, right? You gotta learn what the alphabet is before you can make a fucking word. Right? I mean, so the steps in the process has always been there. So it's a good look at training is the same way. So when you guys are doing your test, it's not like I'm going to throw something at you that you've never done before. The purpose of the test is to show me you've learned what I've asked you to learn. The purpose of the test is to show me you can do what you've been doing. It's not like I'm going to be saying, okay, you're going to have to give me this technique, right? Well, that ain't a test. It's a fucking surprise. It'd be an asshole move on me to ask you to do some things that I've never asked you to do to begin with. The purpose of the test is to say, right here, right now, I can do it. Right? That's the whole purpose. So nothing that you guys haven't done, it just now instead of doing like, well, on Monday we're going to work on bags and cardio and a few weights, right? And then when you come in on Tuesday, we might work on hands-on drills and kata. And then when you come in on maybe Wednesday or Thursday, we'll work on more on the historical side of things or this, that, and the other. The only big difference is that it's not broken up in a situation. It's bombarded into a small time frame. But the test itself is to show me that you're at the level of being able to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So I just thought that was interesting when they were saying, well, how this works, because the argument in this particular article of immunization was, do people really need it or not? Do we really, and I didn't even know that was actually an argument. People argue like, you shouldn't have an immunization. Now, I will be the first one to tell you, I had never had a flu shot a day in my life. I don't take medicine when the doctors give it to me. I'm probably going to die really fucking young just because I don't do that. You know what I mean? I do get the reality of it. We don't live in a natural world. We live in a world of everything's man-made and light bulb energy and Wi-Fi and all this other shit that our bodies are absorbing that we weren't supposed to absorb to begin with. All the chemicals and impurities, right? So you have to have something to combat the things that you weren't supposed to have to begin with from a natural state. So I get that. It ain't like we're just gonna go backwards and be like, all right, fuck the iPhones, fuck the Wi-Fi, fuck the electricity. Let's just run around with a fucking pelt on and grow some onions and potatoes, right? We're not doing that. But I do think that this process, right, of understanding where you are and have to give yourself more is what's going to make you better. But the point with this particular thing is I thought it was rather interesting that even modern medicine takes the same approach towards healing us and making our bodies and our immune system stronger as that we do in the martial arts to make our minds and bodies stronger. It's the same process, and I thought that was really interesting. So when you guys are on the floor and you're sweating your ass off and you're doing your punches and kicks and push-ups, sit-ups and squats and doing your sparring and working your kata, just go through it. You'll get stronger when you get done.